Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the EMC playoffs, the British Irish Trackmania stream of the aforementioned playoffs. Padster, delighted to be joining you for these ones. Looking forward to seeing some high-quality Trackmania, and I think a little bit of figuring out formatting on the fly as well. It's going to be very exciting.
Not the simplest format to follow, but I think I've wrapped my head around it. I don't think I even knew it when I played in EMC a while ago. I just kind of showed up and drove around as quick as I could.
This is it. It's always much easier as like a player than I think a viewer or a caster or anything, because like you say, you just show up in Trackmania, drive as fast as you possibly can, and then someone will be like, yeah, well done, you did enough, or hey, unlucky, you didn't do enough, and that's kind of it, right?
Yeah, to be honest, I was actually just driving with the opinion of like, so long as I'm not like last on my team, I haven't let everyone down, so it's okay.
That's, I think, completely fair. I think we should probably explain a little bit of what is going on as far as we understand it. This is the final week of playoffs for EMC, the Eclipse Mix Championship Season 6. We're going to be following the League 1 playoffs, the creme de la creme, the cream of the crop. We are into a top 4. 6 teams entered, only 4 remain, and that is 2 teams down in the lower bracket, Shift and Evo Black, and in the upper bracket final, which we will be jumping into first here in just a second, Team W, the team formerly known as Wumbo, take on a team who, I think the answer here is going to be, is 4Ws better than 1? We've got Team 4wheels with their 4W logo up against them, and it really is a battle of the Ws.
It really is, but who will take the W? Now that's the question.
Well, both teams have already stolen the W.
Yeah.
But, 4wheels.
I mean, it makes sense, right?
They've got more.
In the winner bracket, yeah. 4 Ws. Yeah, welcome to a 5W match.
Why do the 2 teams not simply combine and use the power of 5 Ws in order to win the grand final? It just makes more sense.
I don't think there'd be much EMC if the 2 of them combined.
No, that is true.
Yeah, the players on both these teams barely need any introduction. The teams are 10 strong each. I'm not in streamer mode. So sorry for the Discord ping everyone just heard. I will fix that now and I will pass back to Noah because I can't multitask.
No, that's fair. And apparently I'm a little bit louder, or you're a little bit louder than I am as well.
Yeah,
I can try and fix that. Someone can try and fix that. It'll be totally fine. We'll figure it out once we get in there. But speaking of these teams, there are plenty of players on both teams in terms of how far down you can run because of the format that we're playing in the Eclipse Mixed Championship. These players have, what, minimum of 8, 9 players? It's a lot of players, at least 10 on most of these teams, which means it'll take a while to run through it. I think we're better off just introducing them as we go once we do get into match. But regarding how the format then does work, there will be 3 maps played in each match this week. We'll be kicking things off with a 1v1 on map 1 of the match, staying on map 1 and heading into a 2v2. Now, any players who participated in that 1v1 are not allowed to participate in the 2v2, and then we round things out with 2 4v4s, one on a second map, and then the final 4v4 happens on the 3rd map of the week. Teams will get 1 point for winning in match 1 or 2, that is the 1v1 or the 2v2, and they will get 2 points if they win either of the 4v4s. Whichever team wins the most rounds overall over the course of the evening as well will also pick up an extra point. That is to prevent any possible ties. It means that we will not get to the end of the match and be worried about that awkward situation where both teams sit on the same amount of points from having won the same amount of match. It also means, Padster, that every round genuinely is relevant, right? I mean, dropping as few rounds as possible, absolutely smoking your opponents, matters.
Yeah, I was having a chat with one of the players about exactly how kind of repetitions work. And if there's a split in terms of which teams win the 1v1 and the 2v2, then rounds matter going forward. If one team wins both of them, then it won't matter.
Okay,
at
understood.
All. And his words, he got annoyed seeing Carter trying to add up rounds when it wasn't going to matter, so...
Okay,
I'm avoiding one chatter.
The 1v1 and the 2v2, then we don't need to stress about it from that point on. Good to know.
Because the scoreline will end up being either 4-2 or 6-0 before you add in golden points, so... It's not going to matter.
Correct.
Anyway, we are going in.
That's true. Yeah.
We're going in with the 1v1. They are just finishing warming up. I will take us in. And...
Yeah. Is the clicking noise Padster's mouse? Chat, we never know. Or is there something else entirely? Well, it doesn't matter. We are jumping on in. Warm-up is rounding up. Kicking things off on map 1. Who are the players? I think I saw Brinken warming up, so it is Brinken versus Salty over on the other side. That is Salty playing seen a lot of them? Not yet, and I'm looking forward to exploring that. This is a tight first round between Salty and Brinken. Brinken with an early edge. Salty having taken the lead now in the back half of the map and pulling away to a decent lead, it has to be said as well. Decent in terms of about a 10th, but both drivers driving well. Brinken is making the charge back now, looking good coming off the dirt, has shrunk the gap ever so slightly, and as we round the final few corners then, Salty holds on to that lead, got very tight on the grass to that inside wall. Brinken, I think, is just looking for an opportunity, any chance to break back through, as we surely now reach the finish line, and through the rest of the Salty does not miss. It was incredibly low, and the gap ended up at a 10th and a half. That's a great round one.
Yeah, very close there. It's always nice in 1v1 to see players avoiding crashing, because a lot of these 1v1s can be, you know, you get to the third corner, someone's thrown into a wall.
Yeah. I will note as well, Salty currently with the online world record on this map. He won't be challenging it this round. Early mistake means that Brinken out to a very, very safe lead, nearly a second in the first 10 seconds of the map. But Salty has a 55.7 currently on this map, a 7-2-1 if you wanted the full details. Brinken is not that far behind that in terms of PB. I think there's a reason, looking at it, why these two players have been sent out for their individual teams on this one.
Yeah, this is for sure, but this is definitely going in favour of Brinken here. This is a bit like what I was talking about last round, where you get these rounds where someone throws it in the wall in the first sector, and it doesn't mean it's strictly over. Brinken needs to, well, drive the map, but he can full safe. All these teams will be in VC. There will be safe calls coming out instantly. Still drives 0.3 though, so, you know, pretty much the same time as last round. So safe calls clearly falling on deaf ears a little bit.
Yeah. I would love to hear as well, you know, for each of these teams, is there a dedicated shot caller during the 1v1 for them? You know, because you don't want the other 7 players or whatever shouting the entire time during the 1v1, right? Like, I mean, yeah, you do want those safe calls to come through. You do want to hear, okay, you've got the advantage. You do not need to overpush this, but you got to have some kind of structure in place, right?
Yeah, for sure. I'm actually, I'm intrigued. We got Epos chatting away. One of the players for W Dot. Do you have a dedicated shot caller, or are you complete, you know, UI off?
Well, see, what's happened there is that they knew they wouldn't be able to keep Epos quiet, so they've sent him off to Twitch chat to distract him while Salty drives the map.
Although it might not be working great, Salty a few attempts down here, and there isn't too much time to gain in this last section of the map. It's a couple of drifts, and Brinken with a comfortable lead here is going to drive a 0.0 faster than his previous runs by about 3 attempts. A very respectable time.
Yeah, that's a couple of tenths away from the online PB for Brinken as well. So definitely looking quick, and it is 2-1 now as Brinken takes the lead. Having dropped that first round, it is up to Salty now, maybe to start the comeback, because it's gone wrong early, I would say, in the last couple of rounds. Less so in the last round, but Salty has been giving up the advantage very early on in the map. And even in the round that Salty won, kind of a similar story. Brinken has been taking the edge through these early turns nearly every single time. The first round was the closest, only a gap of about a 10th, and with Salty giving up a 10th pretty much every time through this first sector, you'd have to be nervous. Not Salty, I mean, I think pushing a little bit through that first sector, right? Trying to stay even with Brinken, feeling the pressure, and it's let Brinken out to another big lead. Yeah,
that has not worked at all there for Salty. Going too wide on that and just clipping, throwing his car up in the air, and yeah, this is now Brinken's to lose again. This is the second round that Salty has gifted to him on a platter, so early advantage for 4wheels here for sure.
Yeah, looking great. Feeling comfortable at this point. I believe it is a point limit of 7. I'll confirm that in just a second here. And I'm sure most people watching are well aware themselves. So that will be the third round, nearly halfway there for Brinken. There you go. Yeah, absolutely. A point limit of 7. 3 of 7 secured for Brinken. A gap of 2 as well. Starting to feel a little bit comfortable. And I think 1v1's especially a format where remaining comfortable, it's great. I mean, all the pressure is on Salty right now.
Sure, but he's looking close for start here. We see a lot of different lines coming out from Brinken and Salty. Salty seemed to go for these earlier drifts, and it's paid off this time. Just find himself in the lead. Again, Salty sets up earlier here. Is that going to allow him to carry more speed? A little, but not much. At least he doesn't go flying off track, so vast improvement on last time. I thought Brinken was going in the hole there as well. This is a scary map to watch.
Yeah, and I mean, tense round as well. Salty has kept up this time around through the middle of the track. Brinken has just about edged out a lead. I think the paint on the nose of the car is about it, as Salty went hard on that one. And in the round, Salty won. That drift was beautiful, and I'll say it was beautiful this round again. Salty is battling to try and win this round. It'd be a huge win for Brinken if he can fight off this comeback, but I think Salty has him. Brinken nearly missed, and the gap is 100th. And all of the GRs come out in the in-game chat, and they're in Twitch chat as well. And that was a great round. Quick times as well, a 56.1 winning time from Salty. That is top tier Trackmania.
Yeah, that's absolutely great. 2 of the fastest times we've actually seen driven on the track at all when we come in the same round. Absolutely incredible stuff there. Salty, again, closer during the starting section compared to last time. Going to see this different line on the dirt. It seems to end up kind of equal. It's going in favour of Brinken this time, though. He gained about a 10th going through that uphill.
Yeah, I mean, it's consistently through that sector, right? And it's whether Salty has been really risking it through that dirt a couple of times, the wider setup, as you noted in the previous round as well. But that's not paying off every time. It's sometimes he's not quite making that gap close that he needs to. Through this section, Salty has looked great again, but the gap just a little bit too big. In fact, it has grown one more time. Brinken now up to 3/10 in front and looking comfortable to wrap up a 4th round, keep the lead at 2. Just needs to not miss the finish and hasn't really looked all that close to doing so. It's the consistency right now from Brinken. Those low 56s round on round.
Yeah, that is another 0.0 there.
Looks good.
Absolutely great stuff.
What else is there to say? Really, like, I mean, it's Brinken has been just banging in those, 0.0s or low 0.1s just consistently, and we've seen Salty well capable of doing it. We know from the online times as well, Salty capable of doing a 55.7, but not really managing to challenge that right now, and that looked a little bit dangerous for Salty. It's not slow, but was once again risking, and even risking is not really managing to gain the advantage that you're hoping for. That's going to be a big time loss. The gear lost on the dirt and then ending up in the hole from Salty. The steering just snapped back on him for a second.
Yeah, that wasn't the correction he needed to make. I could see what he was going for, but just too far to the right, and flipped hole, and that is going to be round over. It's once again about a second gap here. Brinken, he hasn't crashed once.
Yeah.
The consistency from this player has just been incredible. If you look at the rounds where they both finished, it's still in Brinken's favour, but only 50-50 as we see the first 55 there. Incredible stuff. But
yeah,
when your opponent's a bit faster than you, but never crashes, there's really not much you can do.
I mean, I would say this is one of those matches, as it often is in a 1v1, where it's all about who had pressure early. And I mean, literally from the first corner, nearly every time, Brinken has had a lead of about a 10th, right? And Salty, to their credit, has managed to fight back multiple times, twice to be precise, and pick up those 2 round wins. But from very early in the map, Brinken has been holding the lead and putting the pressure on Salty, and that's allowed Brinken to build up the lead on the scoreboard as well. And just the pressure has been on Salty the entire way through. Trying to step up to it, has managed to stay close this time around, and there are sections of the track coming up where Salty's arguably looked just a little bit quicker. This turn in particular, with the reactor down, Salty has navigated very well, trying to stay very inside. That's a great line, carrying a lot more speed than Brinken, but this full drift around the corner makes it tough. More speed still for Salty, gaining up to that back wheel of Brinken. He tries to break as late as possible on that turn. Brinken stills the lead. Salty goes early. It's going down to the line. Brinken does hold on. I thought he was too far left, but he holds it. Nerves of steel, and the gap is 200ths of a second.
That's incredible. And that could well be the nail in the coffin there for Salty. It could have been the start of a comeback, but at 6-3 or 6-2 even, Salty will have to win every round of the bounce here, and even if he can up the pace slightly, I don't think he's have consistency. It would be one hell of a comeback, but don't count your chickens before they've hatched. Brinken still has to finish this, and it can be these rounds where you're under the most pressure sometimes, but as we see Brinken, he almost makes his first mistake. I'm still going to call it a mistake.
Yeah.
But he's very lucky that he's only a 10th down from that rather than half a second to a second. He has got away with that one.
Salty has not gotten away with the round just yet, though. Brinken is still here. Salty goes in early on the turn and will manage to come out still ahead, as Brinken is still within touching distance of Salty. Can't miss finish.
Brinken
not in touching distance anymore. That's a pretty big one. That'll
Salty
be
missed it!
still a rich. No way!
Oh, Salty!
Hey. Hey, Padster, Salty not allowed to play in these 2v2s. And right now, I think just taking the second, some deep breaths, gonna be necessary. That is a very tough way to lose. Hey, Salty, it was a great fight the entire way through. Having been down with Brinken just having a quicker start to the map, the pressure was always on Salty. And I think right there, in a moment when the pressure was finally released, there was enough of a gap. Do you know what we're going to do? We're going to blame it on the rest of Wumbo, because I bet as soon as Brinken crashed there, they were all screaming like, you can save here, safe. And it just threw Salty off. Completely threw Salty off. And that's, you know, I mean, hey, tough break.
Yeah, that is never how you want to end a match. Like, it looked like it could be the start of, you know, could he have tried to build a redemption, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, that is never how you like to end it. Still, nope. I don't think the scoreline necessarily does Salty justice there. Like, he was quick, but...
Yeah, absolutely.
Brinken,
I mean,
Brinken
multiple rounds that Brinken
crash.
won by 100th, or 200ths, right? And, like, Salty was putting in very good time. This is top 4, right? Top 4 of Division 1 here in the Eclipse Mix Championship. You expect it to be close. Teams are sending out their best, and we're at that point where the best means, yeah, there are gaps of hundreds, gaps of thousands between what these players are capable of achieving, and the smallest of differences make huge differences on the scoreboard. That difference on the scoreboard now 1-0 in favor of Team 4wheels. So far, 4wheels better than 1W. It is holding true that bigger number, better people, I guess. And we'll have to see then. Heading into the 2v2, do we have any predictions on who they send out for their 2v2s?
Well, I have spoilers because I am in the server, and I can see Boz warming up here. Boz and Melio from looks of things for Wumbo versus Asa and Pika.
Should be fun.
4W. Yeah. Very good set of players here.
Yeah. 4wheels going for the match player nationality to the admin nationality buff. Portuguese to Portuguese, you know. Get in there. See if it works out for them. And then, of course, over on the other side, we do have, as you said, Boz and Meliu. Very strong players. That's a scary 2v2 to try and take on, frankly.
Yeah, I would be pretty scared of Boz and Melio here. Pika, play I'm slightly less familiar with. Again, like, when I say that, within these two teams, I recognize every single player. These are all absolutely top quality.
Yeah.
But having, like, followed Boz in particular quite heavily through BITM events and stuff, I know him quite well, and Melio through keep an eye on Wumbo for a similar reason. And obviously, one of our own admins here. We have Asa playing for 4W. Do each off warm-up. It's perhaps more interesting than our faces.
Well,
don't cast
I think we're pretty interesting. Okay, I can see the orange number.
There's plenty of orange.
Reflexively. Yeah, plenty of orange all over the screen. The warning sign for a caster to not watch.
Yeah.
As this is going to be a fun one. We do stick back on Honeycode as well for this, and then the 2 4v4s will each be played on separate maps. So we have an idea now. Strong times in the 1v1 were those 56 seconds, low 56s. So we'll keep an eye on what the players are starting to hit then in this 2v2 as well.
Yeah, sure. Do we get any representative times from warm-up? I think Asa's on perhaps a representative run.
Potentially.
No.
Well, no, not anymore.
I mean, I don't think he was anyway, now looking at the time, but definitely not now.
I don't think it wouldn't have been that far off. I mean, it's going to finish at about a 57.4. So, I mean, I'd say that was probably a mid 56, right? Like, without the big mistake that we saw. We'll hold on and see once the players get there as well. Hey, let's have a look at the GPS. Oh, never mind.
Right, we will be going into the round now. By the way, quick note, ignore what it says on the scoreboard. This is, in fact, the upper bracket. There definitely wasn't a switch in the match I was planning to stream. But I forgot to update graphics for.
Yeah.
Right, we get underway here
that's life.
with an early advantage for Boz and Asa at the front. Pika dropping behind by a couple of tenths here. Trying to catch up through this dirt section. Both players pretty much neck and neck.
Gonna be close. I have to try and remember exactly how scoring works in the 2v2. 1 on a 4 is a draw. I mean, are we just going on World Tour 2v2 rules? Is that the scoring system here? Right.
It's not World Tour.
It's not. Yeah, no, it's definitely not.
Draws
so...
get you nothing.
Okay.
And Boz will be having to fight for one. With Melio going into the wall, Boz will have to try and hold on for first place here to at least get the draw. Deny 4W instantly getting onto the scoreboard, and I'm not sure he's going to be able to. As Asa jumps... Ooh! Boz gets name diffed.
Yeah, unfortunate.
God, could you imagine the shenanigans if Asa had actually bounced off the finish there?
Yeah. Ooh. Surely it's not named if. Surely we're doing count back to previous checkpoint rules here.
Right?
Must be. For sure. Either way, that is a round going immediately in favor of 4W. They'll be struggling a little bit to start round 2, though, as that is going to be Pika. Bouncing off one of the early turns, and now up to Asa to do what Boz couldn't do last round. Hold it to a draw. Keep the lead at 1. And Asa and Boz, I mean, decent fight. I think it's shaping up to be already throughout the course of this 2v2, but this round, last round as well, they were already going at it. Oh, never mind.
First, two people in the wall there.
Yeah.
Yep, this is safe calls.
Safe.
Hopefully it doesn't have the effect like it might have done on Salty there. The Bond's going full safe. That's the least aggressive thing I've ever seen him take a corner. As he lets Melia run away. Yeah, you know.
Relaxing round. One of those things, you don't want to lose your edge on a safe call though, right? Like, I mean, you still want to push. You don't want to, like, especially trying to slow down. I know for me, if I start trying to do something differently, I start deliberately trying to drive a track safer. You know, you've got the muscle memory locked in. It definitely can mess with it a little bit if you aren't smart about how you save. You know, if you're letting off the gas on turns when you're not used to letting off the gas, and all of a sudden you're like, well, now I have no idea how to drive the next turn because normally I'm much faster coming through here.
Yeah, I do wonder whether in practice with these players, as we see Asa right into the wall at the start. Yeah.
Tough.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Yeah, I do wonder whether they particularly practice safe line, whether when it comes to safe call, I know a lot of players just don't really change anything.
Yeah.
There's too many examples of you know, people with 3-10 lead bidding it. Ooh, Melio clipped the hole there, gonna lose about a tenth there. This has given 4W a chance to claw back a draw here after Asa's early mistake.
Yeah, Pika holding off Boz at the moment. I mean, maybe no surprise, Boz looking like the most consistent player in the lobby at the moment and holding that corner beautifully.
Absolutely sends it.
Absolutely no clearance around the outside coming out of it. He's looking great then to take the win off the back of that. Pika still trying to chase.
Melio crashes,
and all of a sudden Asa is through into third. Should finish surely in third. Melio nearly bounces off the finish, and we end up with a draw reversed from where it looked like it was going to be, with the team in blue, Pika and Asa for 4W, looking like potentially they were going to be finishing first and fourth. Instead, it is Boz and Melio who take the first and fourth. Score remains the same. No change on that round.
Yeah, that was a very up and down round. I thought both teams had it safely in their grasp at one point, but yeah, everyone's swapping around about late mistake from Melio costing them. Boz here a little behind at the start, slightly uncharacteristic, but I think it's more a case of Melio is far ahead.
Yeah. Looking quick.
People tackle
and Boz
Boz Boz touches, best now puts pressure on Melio to try and hold him to a draw. Or
he's got the gap built up.
Give him a chance for a win if anyone just drives into a finish again.
Definitely a possibility. I think in this 2v2, I mean, just more players. We've seen more finishes, but closer finishes in general as well. People looking very close to missing that risky fin. I think that's what you're hoping for right now. If your Boz Bez Asa goes very, very wide on the outside there, should still line it up. Made it through the line. Technically.
Did Boz miss as well?
Boz did then immediately miss somewhere off in the distance. Just went flying through in the background. So would have been safe anyway, but that's not exactly what you want to see. Now, I have just noticed, if you could pull up the scoreboard here for a second, Padster.
scoreboard.
Now, looking down at the team in red, Team Wumbo, there are 2 Melios. Someone has added an extra O to Melio.
Who's that?
Anyone know which Melio is which?
The 2 O's is actual Melio.
Yeah. Who's playing under Melio? Oh.
Are they both Melio?
Process of elimination.
Oh, it's Nico. Okay.
Okay, that tracks. I was looking, I mean, to be fair, yeah, looking down the list, there is 3 French players on Team W, and it is Melio, Salty, and Nico. And I'm pretty sure we've seen Salty in lobby already.
Yep. Right, Bob's trying to chase down Asa for the win here with Pika behind. I think the gap is going to be a little too much.
Heading for another draw.
And there's going to be another draw.
Really extending things out here. There are more rounds to be played this evening after this upper bracket final. But we may be waiting a while before we can get there. That was not a draw. That was a round win. In the background, Pika overtakes. So we will move up 2-1 now. Yeah, a little bit unfortunate. As we'll move up to a 2-1 scoreline.
Where's Pika?
Forgot to start the round. Don't know what to tell you.
Interesting. Yeah, maybe not showing the best of both teams here, to be honest, between mistakes from Melio and Pika, particularly, but Asa and Boz have looked absolutely rapid. Asa has been a particular surprise to me here. I've always known him as a tech-focused player.
Ooh.
As we see Melio crashing there, so battle of the 2 crashes at the back here versus Visa up front, neck and neck. Boz going for a weird setup here. I dare say that's not going to work out nicely. He does lose about 2 attempts.
Yeah, didn't seem deliberate, if we're being totally honest. I think he just ended up too wide on the reactor part, and then it was recovery from there on out. It's given a cushion to Asa, who will take full advantage. Cross the line, decent time, 56.2. Boz a couple of tenths behind, and ultimately in the battle of the 2 players having struggles that round, it's Pika who comes out the worst of it. It's another draw. And hey, I guess we might as well stay sitting here at 2-1 for a little while longer. And I will also note that, I mean, through no one's fault, 4W, the team on the right side of your scoreboard at the top, are in blue and sitting on the left of the in-game scoreboard. Let's just listen. Look, these things happen. It's totally fine. I'm not calling anyone out. I'm just saying nobody get confused by it. Melio's having a rough time of it again.
Yep. Melio's in the wall. Asa's half-second down. So this time it's Pika versus Boz at the start. And I don't think I've seen many rounds where these 2 have both even got to this part of the map and been near each other, because one of them tends to have had an incident.
No incidents so far this round, as Boz does hold on to the lead. Less than a tenth though, and this section Boz had a little bit of trouble with on the last round. You don't expect Boz often to make the same mistake twice in a row, and he looks very clean through there. Once again, so little clearance on the exit of that turn, but taken bravely. Boz holds on to that lead, has even extended it slightly as a result. Asa though has long since cleared Melio, and short any disasters, which there won't be, we'll have another draw, Padster.
Indeed, another one.
Gonna be here a while. We're still
this could be a long map.
At least 5 rounds off this map ending. At least 5. Like realistically, significantly more.
Yeah. It's a best of 5 instead of best of 7, thankfully. Otherwise this could take. So yeah, it might only be 3 more rounds, but I'm certainly not going to bank on it this time.
By Asa.
It's Asa going into the wall. I was about to continue my sentence and say everyone's made it through the first section. Nope, no they haven't. But this is a good opportunity here for Wumbo. Because Asa isn't a little bit dead. Asa is full dead after his 4 seconds
incredibly
down. Melio throws it into the wall. That will be him locked in 3rd unless he decides to start missing finishes. So, in almost a repeat of last round, we have Boz versus Pika at the front. Although this time, if Boz wins it, it's not a draw. It will be a round win for W. Pika gets an Axel pen, goes for the super low kick clearance line, and, well, no clearance line, it turns out. Does Boz make the finish? Yes, he does. Melio's there as well.
Round win!
And we have a round win!
Changes to the scoreboard. It's huge.
The scoreboard's happened!
Now, it is worth noting, though, the change to the scoreboard is the 2 teams are now tied on the scoreboard. So, you know, I mean,
we just made
things to celebrate,
draw. That's
for
all
sure.
We've done. That's all we've done. Still
That's it, exactly. So we can head back to drawing a few more rounds, I guess, and, you know, sit here and enjoy our overall draw for a little while. Or someone could get a nose in front. Melio makes an early mistake this time around. First corner, it has been costing lives throughout the course of this 2v2, and with Boz also crashing. Yeah, safe calls. Half a second gap. I mean, they're not out of it, right? I mean, we've seen significantly worse crashes from both teams. That could happen. Pika looking like a little bit of a snap of understeer there for a second. Still keeps the car out of the hole. Looking good at the moment as Pika and Asa. Do they grow the lead? It's about the same. No one really pulling away. Melio, in fact, has gained back a little bit. Both looking good through the reactor section this turn. Nobody clipping on the inside. Nobody clipping on the outside. No acceleration penalties. Asa and Pika looking good to finish off this round as Balls has dropped further back.
Yeah, well, these two might be teammates, but this is an absolutely great race between them. Pika will win.
Yeah.
He had to scare me. I wasn't going to finish that sentence until...
You see the name come up on the race ranking over on the left side of your screen. Bit of a switch up there? Not really. The team in blue, 4W, do get their noses back in front, having just given up the lead. Maybe this is where we settle into draws for a while, but Melio has dropped back. In fact, there's a chance now for 4W to maybe get themselves clear by 2, put a little daylight between the teams, and pick up their 4th win, even put themselves on sub-match point.
Indeed. But... Ball's holding
it does mean beating Balls on track, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but he hasn't looked perfect here. We have seen some mistakes coming out from Balls. He's not being his usual super consistent self. And although he has the pace to usually win, Asa and Pika can definitely push him. As we see Asa trying to catch up here, it's going to come down to this very strange grass corner. I thought Balls was going to get the pen there. That was...
Yeah, but I mean the line. Asa set up so
Asa
wide.
Crashes. I can't blame him
set there. Up wide. He was pushing, right? And like that was it. He was gaining the entire way through from setting up wide on that dirt, the grass turn with the reactor as well. He came out with a little bit more speed. It was working, but he still needed to make up that half a car length. He still needed to actually use that speed advantage to get past Boz. And in trying to do so, ends up clipping and winds up giving us another draw as they can't get past Boz on track. The score remains at 3-2 in favor of 4W. There's another crash from Melio, and a lot of weight on Boz's shoulders in the last couple of rounds, and it will not be shifting.
Yeah, Boz having to hold firm as possible here against 4W. He's unfortunately ended up in a bit of a 2v1 on several occasions now. Used to have kind of Pika and Melio both making regular mistakes, but Pika has started to iron them out, started to get ahead in the game a little bit more. And that has left, you know, Boz having to fight with solo effort at the front here.
Trying his best. He is holding on to the lead. It's about a 10th.5 through this one. Asa gets as close as possible to the inside. Still holds onto it, but did lose ground just a little bit by pushing as hard as he did. He's very close to that inside corner again. Has learned no lessons. Doesn't want to learn lessons when it comes to trying to catch up to Boz. Solo. He's through the finish, though. It is safe. It is a draw. Boz continues to hold the line.
He continues to hold the line, but he continues to make me want to have a heart attack. Jesus. That was terrifying, that. Is that a nice time? Well, it was a 0.0.
It was pretty quick. Sure.
It was a 0.0, and he still almost crashed to the end. With that super low line, which I dare say was not optimal. Oh, Melio.
It's again.
It's again. It's so horrible to watch, because, like, as a player...
Yeah.
You know, I've been in these situations where you can play brilliantly for half a match and then just it starts to get in your head.
No, absolutely. Especially with the fact that, you know, I mean, it's been the start of the map for the last 3 rounds for Melio, and then you're just out of it. I mean, you're driving a second behind everyone else for another 50 seconds. And, I mean, staying then in a peak competitive form for the next round, very difficult. And, you know, you can understand then why the crash starts to come in. That is Asa slowed. It is Pika, though, still in first place. It's Boz pushing. He's wide on the outside. He's carrying a lot of speed.
Pika crashes!
Has crashed.
And that's a huge accident. And it's Melio. Melio takes the safe in. Actually, a very sensible decision there. And Pika, pushing to try and get a win rather than a draw, has accidentally handed it to a very, very lucky W dot lineup there.
Tough.
On a platter. That's... Oh, that... I've got to feel for Pika there a little bit, but yeah, this match is still a draw. Actually going to record the longest sub match ever.
Possibly. How many rounds have we actually played?
Yeah,
what are we on at this point? I feel like we should have been. We've not been, though. At least 6. I know that much. And then I'm going to say we've had like 6 draws, probably. I think we're probably over about 12 rounds.
Oh, Asa crashes.
There's a crash.
Balls
holds first, Melio in third, and we do need to call out Melio's had, well, a decent round up until now. That's not a bad as crash as Asa had, but Asa I don't think was too far away. No, he's continuing to drop a long way off. It is a 3-person match at this point, and it's up to Pika to maybe push to try and overtake Boz. This would be a big turnaround for Team W Dot as they are now looking to move to match point.
Yeah, honestly, Pika's tires were inside there, but and he clipped, and you know, I think the longer this match is...
Oh. Hey, made it.
Well, yeah, he didn't make it. Just, I think the longer this match is, you definitely do see fatigue from players. As, you know, they have played so many rounds of just this map.
Yep.
You know, I'd be feeling quite tired in this position, but finally, we have sub-match point. It is 4-3 here. W Dot leading 4W. Could we two teams have gone for more similar names if they tried? I don't know.
Someone's going to have to rename to L after this overall match, I think.
The Bandit Wumbo second team, L-Bot.
Honestly, a great idea. We shouldn't just be throwing these around for free.
I've run L-Bot before as a team.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I mean, great minds think alike in that case.
Asa has thrown it slightly into the wall. Maybe not into the wall. I didn't catch exactly what happened, but he's about 3 attempts down. So he's not fully out of it. He is ready to pick up a piece if there's any mistakes from anyone. But Boz holding third and first, Melio third. And after all of the inconsistency of this match, can Melio hold on to a very important third place here to pick up the sub-match win? Pika misses. And finally, the world's longest sub-match comes to an end.
And Team W Dot did not lead at any point during that sub-match, which lasted, I think, must have been at least 15 rounds.
It was 4-3 at the end. Yeah, so final score was 5-3.
But that's what I mean. They never led up until they took the lead and then won across back-to-back rounds.
Yeah,
right?
Genuinely.
Like they were behind or tied at best for about 14 rounds. Take the lead at 4-3, close it out at 5-3, and they are feeling good about that one. It is both teams trading then across the first 2 maps, which means that there is a chance, Padster, that this match does end up coming down to total rounds 1. Currently, very much in favor of 4wheels, having Brinken dominate the original 1v1, 7-2. They are feeling pretty good about their advantage on that.
Yep, for sure. It is currently +3 in their favor, if I have done 5 minus 2 correctly.
Good maths.
I have an A-level maths, by the way. You know, this is how well set up I've been. Yeah.
I mean, listen, I did maths, physics, and applied maths for my leaving cert. So
that's exactly what I did actually. Yep.
There you go. Yeah. I mean,
that's hard maths and application of maths.
Yeah. No, I did a bunch of other subjects as well because I did 8 subjects for my exams. A little bit different from the British system. Little bit different. Okay. And they only counted 6 of mine as well. They only count your best 6. I was doing 8, and 2 of them were just completely extraneous.
I don't know how I'd feel about that. I have an nasty feeling I would just sit around and sacrifice. Just whichever 2 subjects I have the least interest in. Like, oh no, I've got to do English literature.
Yeah. I sacrificed Latin, a subject I also did for my leaving cert. Did not do very well in that. I mean, hey, other things I did during that leaving cert period, the week that we had off before exams from school, I did manage to beat all of Pokemon, I want to say Yellow, on my phone using an emulator with only a Pidgey. So that was pretty fun.
How long did that take you?
Listen, okay, it was an emulator, so there was a speed up button.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes it sane.
So playing at like 2 to 10 times speed, the in-game time was still about 80 hours.
Yeah.
So it still was probably more time than I should have spent pre-exam playing Pokemon. But you know what? many years ago now. Literally a decade this year. Isn't that terrifying? Isn't that scary?
Yeah, that's a little while.
I don't love it. Yeah. What
No.
great. Hey, we're still in the middle of this match. We should focus in for
We
a
are,
brief second.
we are.
Team W Dot versus Team 4wheels, having split the first 2 sub matches. We now move on to the 4v4s, and with moving on to the 4v4s, we also move on to a new map. And I believe I'm right in saying that the map we move on to is the map that Bozbez created himself, Bing Chilin.
Indeed, indeed. First time I've ever seen a boss map in a competition. You know, excluding the very prestigious British and Irish Spring Cup, of course.
Yeah, and I know Bozbez not playing in this map.
No.
Fair enough. Is he not allowed? Is that in the rules?
He is allowed, but in his own words, he didn't want to deal with the chatting. Which, well, to be honest, is completely understandable.
It completely is. It does mean that we are going to be robbed of seeing Epos versus Boz. He does. Now, fortunately, I've noticed something you haven't, which is that we are still in the warm-up here.
You can't see it, but my head is in my hands. I thought...
I could hear it, yeah. Well, I don't know.
It was a great warm-up round.
It was. Hey.
Yeah.
I mean, dominated by
4W
Team 4wheels.
Yeah.
They look great. We'll see how things roll out on this. Incremented by 1, the caster casts warm-up round counter that I'm sure exists somewhere. Someone's got to be keeping track of that as well.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
I haven't done that for a little while.
Yeah, there was a mistake there early. I think it was, unfortunately, for the team in red, W. Melio, who has made the first mistake. Still looking to get back into things.
Unfortunately, Jan slightly further behind than it won't be right now. I'll be honest, I had looked through team names, the team line briefly. I had not noticed that 4W had picked up mine.
Yeah, no, kind of stacked.
That is, that's a little cheat code they've acquired.
No, absolutely. I mean, they're still Pushtito Paco still sitting in the back pocket as well, waiting, you would assume, for the second 4v4 if he's here today. Yeah. I mean, lots of very good players on both of these lineups. I mean, Stoofts as well is an excellent player, sitting over there on W. And currently leading the round just in front of teammate Epos. Stoofts nearly missed the finish there, but did not. I managed to hit 52 seconds exactly. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the first and the second there may have wrapped things up as a win for the team in red, or is that a draw?
How did it draw? 1, 2, 7, 8.
Oh, well, fair enough.
Right, okay. We've made our second cast error.
Oh, that's true.
That's Meliu.
Yeah, no, it's... I did not notice the extra O. All right, this is... Name changes in Trackmania competition have never been an issue here on the British Irish Trackmania channel or on any other channels that may or may not involve people playing in this match as organisers, so...
Not at all. Not at all. I have no idea what you're talking about. Anyway, Meliu, better known as Nico, has thrown him to the wall there again.
Yeah. I mean, he's copied the name. He didn't have to copy the playstyle.
That was cold. That was unnecessary.
It really was. I'm sorry. Yeah. They're both very good players.
Yeah, Stuff's absolutely sending it here. Having an incredible round, but unfortunately, it is a solo effort there. As Epos, Melio, and... Yeah, hang on.
No, still, Melio's not even in the match. It is just Nico.
Oh my god, it is just Nico. Wumbo won that. Someone went missing there. Someone went missing.
I believe they ended up there with a 1, 4, 5, 7, with Mime ending up dropping back to last place. Is what
I think
ended up winning them the round.
Trying to spectate 4v4s is an absolute nightmare.
It
game
really is.
It gives you 6 hotkeys. So there's 2 players I can't even go and spectate easily, which is wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of a, very useful to have the live scoreboards on a server as well for that, but hey, we don't have it set up in that way, which is fair enough. I mean, why bother making a whole new server format when there is pre-existing ones that work And look, we'll stop talking about it because EPOS leads the way, and this is a very close round. Stuffed there as well. Jan, I think very important in this one. Sneaking up into a top 4 position is probably going to be very helpful. I think Jan is going to do so as Kopro throws it into a wall. Kebby is just behind, but Kebby's not going to catch. Stuffed and Jan both make it across with EPOS in first. That is definitely going to be a round win for Team W Dot, picking up their second of the sub-match and starting to move into the front, with both teams having picked up round sub-match wins in the 1v1 and the 2v2 as well. Looking great for W Dot, that they are pulling away 2-0. They could really close the deficit, maybe even overtake in terms of the potential overall battle if this does end in a tie.
Yep, Stuffs falls behind at the start there. So, Wumbo down a player. Down 2 players now, as we see, here's that Nico. This is wildly confusing. Going wall there. My game has dropped to about 2 FPS for some reason. That's fun. I do apologise on stream if that's catching it. I will try to fix it. But this is looking like a lot better around here for 4W.
Potentially still just a draw though at the moment, with EPOS in first. The 2-3-4 looks good, but is it good enough, and can they hold on to it, maybe even overtake EPOS as well? Jan looking to deny Kebby, but I don't think he's going to catch before the line. 2-3-4 it is going to be for the team in blue. In fact, they will pick up a 7th as well. Yeah, can't do the maths on the fly. I'm going to call draw. What?
That's a round win. What? That's a round win.
It is. Yeah. Okay. No, it's good enough. It's good enough.
Yep, they hold on there. Just about.
See, the thing is, for the 3v3 format, I used to do a lot of team racing, sailing specifically. And so having spent many hours doing that maths on the fly, because it works out the same way as the finishing positions do in 3v3 for Trackmania in terms of whether or not you do win, I can do that very quickly. 4v4, don't have a clue. Could not possibly tell you.
To be fair, 3v3 is usually obvious, unless it's exactly 2-3-5 or 1-4-5. Everyone, you've got to remember.
But that's it. I've spent many hours doing that maths and then having to act on it, right? Because team racing sailing, hey, unlike Trackmania where you can't interact with your opponents, that is a sport that is all about making sure you do not end up in those positions and deliberately screwing other people over to try and avoid those positions. This is a very close round. What do the finishing positions end up being? I think that was a 2. It's a 3-4-5. The second goes to Jan. So it's a 1-2 for Team W Dot. Place your bets. Is it a round win?
The answer is
for sure. W Dot who pick up the win. The 1-2 still very strong in a 4v4, it turns out.
Yep. Indeed. Oh, someone fall behind at the start there. I did not catch who, but I am seeing 4 red names and 3 blue ones, so that will have been 1 and 4W players dropping back. Kopro, I believe. Yep. As we see another 4W player. They are dropping like flies here.
Yeah.
It's looking like a fairly comfortable round 4W Dots, so long as they can keep it out the wall and deny a 1-2. This should be a
win. The advice from chat is to treat it as 2 separate 2v2s. So the top 4 and the bottom 4. And then I'm assuming if you win both of those, then you just win. If you tie both of them, you tie. If you win one, lose one, you tie. It's interesting. Look, this is going to be a win. This one even I can work out. This one I can do the maths. Yeah.
Seeing an ace in a 4v4 is incredibly rare. So great performance from the entire W Dot crew there.
And quick times as well. Low 52s, nearly across the board. Current world record online for this one is held by Stuffed. 51.763 is the online world record at the very least. So that was a great round, honestly. Like, I mean, it was there were a couple of crashes over on 4W as well, but W Dot, I mean, deserved the ace in that round nonetheless.
For sure. This time though, Kopro and Kebby, 2 Swedes, holding the second and third. Mine also fourth, so this round looking a little better for 4W here, and that's very important because they really need some round wins soon. I believe the scoreline is 4-1.
I think so. It's not been feeling great for 4W. They will need a big performance in the final 4v4 if things finish up on this round or on a round after this. I mean, even picking up 1 round win could be relevant, just in terms of the final score as well. And the
Jan
1 point
pushes,
overall
Jan.
that goes, big push from Jan to catch Mime at the finish line. That is going to be a win for the team in blue in the top 4, and then the bottom 4 changes things up, so it'll be
also it's a draw.
It's a draw, yeah, because they lost the second 4, I think.
Yes.
The advice from chat really did not help me in terms of think about it as 2 separate 2v2s, because sure.
Yeah, Jan coming in absolutely clutch that round, picking up a very, sniping a very important 3rd place. This Rambo, he will not be coming in clutch. He has gone straight into the wall. He is miles back. Not one of Jan's great performances, so we are into a 3v3. This I can keep track of a little easier with Mime and Jan out of it. We can see Shadowcroncer at the front, being chased down by, 3 wumbo players, including not Melio. It's Nico. I remember for once. Yeah, it's looking very good for wumbo to be able to finish things off here. Shadowcroncer wins. Epos Melio stuff 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, that's an incredibly quick round.
Oh, yeah, stunning time by Shadowcroncer. Yeah, sorry, I got distracted by all the maths.
No, trying to do maths, trying to figure things out. Look, the maths is now not over, because we're going up to a points limit of 7 in this one, so I'll be honest with you. I do think that this sub-match is over. Team W.
Yeah, 5-1.
Probably not going
solid
to lose it from here. With that said, it does now come down to how much of the overall points they can manage to overturn, as it were, in terms of overall round wins, because this is great. This is a +4 differential on the sub match for the moment. Now, it may not end up mattering if W. do just end up going on to win in the next 4v4 as well. That's done. We walk out of here. W. are our winners, but they went into these 4v4s behind on the overall rounds, meaning that if it was a draw, they were not in great position. This is great position. This is them reversing what happened in the 1v1, the 7-2 scoreline in favor of Brinken that happened back then, and making sure that will kind of be a null factor heading into the final one. Epos was very slow through that final drift. Does still manage to finish in 4th, but it will be, well, a 2-3-4 once again for Team W. It should be a round win.
Yeah, Epos, I thought he was going to be going into the bottom of the finish there for a second. I was a bit worried for him, but he got away with it. And that moves the scoreline up to 6-1 now, I believe. So, only one more round needed for W. And this would be an absolutely huge win to take, because they wouldn't even need to win the next map. Who died there? Who went
I'm going to say multiple players from W. is my understanding of what I just saw.
Process of elimination, I'm going to say.
Stuffed, I think,
yeah, Stuff's at Epos.
all the way out. And Epos disappeared shortly afterwards, in solidarity with the major slide out that happened there. I mean, I guess, the map is called Bing Chilin, bit of ice cream, if we translate. Ice, brain freeze, ice cream. We all scream when we slide out. I don't know. There's something there. We'll workshop.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe we won't workshop. I'm not sure.
Oh, he's so slow.
Oh, we see someone going safe in there. And that actually worked out. And this for the first time since, I think, the first or second round, 4W finally get a point on the board here.
Only their second round, yeah.
Yeah, for now, this is going to be pretty much damage limitation.
I think they were always going to win that round, but Jan also did make a mistake on the final corner. I think dropped from potentially 2nd place all the way back down to about 4th or 5th. So could have been closer. Again, I don't think it would have been enough, but yeah, I mean, a rough round overall from Team W. And they'll need to clean it up a little bit. They have cleaned it up, at the very least, off the start line. Most of it. I mean, sure, Nico is currently sitting in 7th place, and I think by the time the scores come back up, maybe even further behind than that, as Kebby having a very good round so far. Shadow just behind as well, making the push and getting past a couple of the cars in red, sitting just behind Kebby at the moment. But it is Epos, Jan, and Stuffed looking to maybe close things out here, not allow 4W any further back onto the scoreboard.
Epos and Kebby having an absolutely great scrap at the front here, barely a 10th between them. Looks like Epos will just about hold on, though. keep an eye on the rest of the scoreboard. And that will, due to Nico and Mime in 7th and 8th, that actually does end up going way of W dot. So that will be GG. And on a map by one of their players, let's settle for chatting.
And I will say,
pick up the win.
A 7-2 scoreline as well, Padster, is the exact scoreline that we had in the original 1v1, just reversed to the other team, meaning that if this does end up, our final map goes in favor of 4wheels. Those two sub-matches, they've essentially cancelled each other out, the 1v1 and that first 4v4. At the moment, it is just those 2 rounds even, on the 2v2, which ended up at a 5-3. That will separate the two teams, and then whatever happens in the next match as well. But it does mean 4wheels looking to overcome a deficit of 2. So basically, what I'm saying, Padster, is that in order to now win this match, 4wheels, first of all, need to win this 4v4. Non-negotiable, something that they must do if they want to win this match. And they must also win with a scoreline of 7-4 or better.
Yep.
That's where we're at.
Yep, I believe so. Although 7-4 bang on would put them equal on points, at which point it goes to...
No, 7-5 would put them bang on. 7-5 would tie them.
Yes, sorry.
Because there's a 2 rounds. That's what I was saying, 7-4. I wasn't even going to bring up the 7-5 because I don't know what the tiebreaker is at that point.
The rule is usually a golden round, just one round, which it all depends on to decide that. That said... Teams aren't very strict with how they do it. I know before now it has been settled in a League of Legends 5v5.
Game of Mundo dodgeball in the Baron Pit to decide which team goes on to the grand finals here from our upper bracket final.
Exactly. Yeah, that'll be the way to do it.
Well, I mean, look, the easiest thing to do would be simply just don't have a 7-5 scoreline in the favor of 4wheels. Would be my personal opinion on how we should handle things.
Yep, exactly.
Just any other scoreline. Literally any other scoreline.
Literally anything else. But I am so ready to see that scoreline crop up here.
It could. I mean, looking down the list of the players who are jumping in for this last one as well, obviously Boz, I think, will be heading back in over on the side of W dot. I haven't actually seen if Paco is here today for Team 4wheels. We should have Brinken back in. I think we should have Asa back in as well. Neil was at least on the server at some point, but also I think it disconnected, so probably coming back. It's going to be exciting. I think
update from Neil, very important update. He wants to finish watching a WEC.
No.
There's 4 minutes left, so... Are
we just sitting here for 4 minutes as Neil finishes watching WEC?
I think we might be.
Maybe we should just throw on the WEC. We can all follow it nice and enjoy ourselves.
Last 4 minutes of, World Endurance Cup.
Yeah. Hey, how are things going over in Shift versus Evo Black? Anyone have any idea what the score is? What's going on over there?
To be honest, given how many draws we had, I'd be willing to bet that game is probably done.
Yeah.
I will go and check the channel that I believe are casting it.
They're actually even further behind. It is 1-1 with Shift currently losing the first 4v4 5-6. So Evo Black in the driver's seat at the moment over there. I mean, hey, stack team right there. I mean, you've got Otak and Binks, Megorian, Broly, Sebi, Vortak, a lot of very good players. Similar for Shift, right? Mertz, Junior, Azox, Nupreme. Twitch chat. Thank you, Alan Sar. The only place I ever get my news.
The truly most reliable source.
Yeah, chat, is this real? Ooh, 6-6. Things spicy over there at the moment.
I have been kicked from the match. That is interesting.
Well, we can guess at what's happening.
Yeah, I unfortunately think that is where we're going to have to be.
What was I looking at? Every match so far in this upper bracket, Padster, has ended with a score of 6-1. And we are on track for that again, if W. can win this final 4v4.
Indeed. And they won't even need to get 7 rounds to win it. They'll only need to get 6.
Yeah, that's true. As soon as they get 6 rounds, it's done. We all go home.
Indeed. It looks like there are some issues with servers. I mean, it wouldn't be a Trackmania event without some issues with servers, of course. So we might be on a little bit of a break. I'm not sure. I mean,
yep. Just tuned in. How did W. versus 4wheels go? The answer is still going. Yeah, technically,
it's still going. It is 3-1 to W. I need to drag the graphic onto this screen so
yep.
you can actually see what's going on.
Yeah, it was 4wheels winning the first 1v1, Brinken taking that one over Salty. I remember what I just watched. And since then, W. have woken up, won the 2v2, won the first 4v4. And we head into the last 4v4 with advantage firmly with W. They just need to win 6 rounds. Doesn't even matter from there whether or not they win the match overall, because if they get to 6, they will draw and then win on the point differential. So yep. That's what we're waiting for. And the servers. Zeros has won their match for the Loud trial. Congratulations. We love to hear it. Anyone else have any other Trackmania news in chat at the moment? I mean, listen, we know what's going on in the lower bracket semi-final. We've heard what's going on with Zeri's Loud trial. Anyone else got anything that they need to bring up in chat?
Yep, asking me important questions here.
Why bother just updating the tournament that we're currently watching when we could update on all tournaments all the time, everywhere?
Yeah, exactly. Any interesting MM games that have just happened, you know?
Yeah, what's happening in League 2, League 3 of EMC right now? Could be anything.
Yeah, I wouldn't have a clue. I mean, I'm sure I'll see about 1,000 messages from OC any second now regarding it.
Yeah, so you're probably already eliminated over on Split White.
Right. It looks like there is a server migration happening, so I'm going to have to try and chase that. In the meantime, graphics. You can actually see the score as we're waiting.
We have another update. Cup of the Day is a full speed map today, so
not missing out on that.
Yeah, I did notice our viewer number dip slightly and then recover around the last few minutes. So yeah, no, that makes sense as to why people dipped, saw that it was a full speed map, and have come back. It just tracks. It is very nice to have the 7-2 versus the 2-7 there, because those do just cancel out. Means the only difference that we have.
Very easy.
Yeah, exactly. It just means that 2v2, the thing that matters at the moment in terms of the overall round score, which will of course be the tiebreaker if 4W can end up winning this final 4v4. And once again, that does mean that they need to win by a score of 7-4 or better. 7-5 would force a tiebreaker, and it is still unclear what form that tiebreaker would actually take. In theory, meant to be a golden round, could end up being almost anything else.
Yep. Right. I believe we have a server.
Right. We love servers.
Indeed.
As I am highlighted in gold here, sitting beside a windows doing things for my lighting that maybe I should
I've got
address.
a bit of a two-faced look going on here. I've got so much more light coming from that window than that window, and it's just getting worse. I will have Twitch light on in a second to try and stop my looking too bad.
The only good thing about it getting dark early in winter is it does make fixing my lighting for casting significantly easier.
Honestly,
now, is that worth everything else that happens during the winter and the fact that it's dark all the time? No, it's awful.
It's absolutely worth it, you know? It makes the life of producers marginally easier.
Well, I mean, no, because then in summer my light also just stays the same because it's just daylight the entire time. And that's just the better version of those two, if you ask me.
Perhaps. Right. We have players warming up, I think. Huge. I hope.
Fingers crossed.
It might be getting underway soon.
We hope. Oh. How's your weekend going, Padster? We're in it now. We're deep in the weeds of a mid-match lull.
Exactly. It's unfortunately how it goes. I believe this is warm-up still.
All right.
Switch to it. The impact stuff didn't start the round. I'm really hoping it was
the number's orange. Is that a? It's usually how I tell.
Well, what if I told you there is no number?
Oh. Well,
yeah, that's a new one. That's a new one.
That's usually not warm-up. I mean, I feel like, but
I'm fairly certain it's
Hey, we'll find out. You know, we'll find out.
Gonna have to ask awkwardly in chat. Did stuff just start half second down in live round? Last warm up. Okay, cool.
So that makes
Stuff's
more sense.
not absolutely throwing there, but it's good stuff.
Hey, Patster, tell us, what's the name of this final map that we're heading into?
Crisis.
Ooh.
I
Now,
believe.
who's built this map?
Jordan.
Ooh. Little bit of British-Irish Trackmania dominance in the mapper pool for EMC here in the final week.
Great
Looking
stuff.
great.
I presume Jordan will be off, busy playing the up-downs with good focus at the moment. It's very fight to keep their position in Division 1.
Yep.
I have just cut to the wrong scene. We get underway here in the 4v4. This is now live, I believe. No one talk about what just happened there.
I mean, nothing that I love more than seeing a stinger bring us straight back to the same scene. It's just fun. I'll show you my version of it when we get back to Caster Faces. It really is. And, well, yeah, we are live, and it is going to be Copro playing again, correct? Copro did play in the last 4v4, right?
Yep. No, we're seeing quite a few good players. Double Copro, double EPOS.
Double EPOS, yeah.
Double Stuffs.
True.
Not
double
Melio.
That is actual Melio,
that's actual
not
Melio. I mean, he's still 2 mapping. Having played 1v1. Same story with Boz here. Haven't seen anyone remapping.
Yes. There's still time to play. It seems unlikely, and Copro will just about make the line there, but losing speed did lose out to at least Melio and possibly EPOS. That's a guaranteed win for the team in red. They just dominated that round. That's a 1-2-3-5. Doesn't get much better than that. We have been given the shortcut that if you get 3 players into the top 4, you do just win, is how that maths works out as well. And then if they are split evenly, so you have 2 players in the top 4 and 2 players in the bottom 4, then you just see which team won more of those sub matches. That's when you break it into 2 sub matches in your head.
Yeah, I'm vaguely following.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll work it out as we go. As it stands, I would say that this round off to a good start for Team W. In fact, the last round was a great start to the sub match for them. Again, they need to pick up 6 rounds. As long as they can get that far, even if it's a battle all the way there, even if it's 6-6 across the 2 teams, that will mean W. have managed to take the overall win. So a great start for them. They're looking to push that forward as Stuffs and EPOS sits 2nd and 3rd. Boz currently in 5th, looking to overtake Paco, and that would be a big overtake. That would give them the round win, as Copro is desperately trying to hold off EPOS and Stuffs, but I think they're through, and I think basically the red team will have wrapped that one up. 1-3-4. That's a win again, because there's 3 of them in the top 4. This is great so far for W.
Yeah, Copro holding on as well as he could. Very, very impressive round between the top 3 there, but it's not enough. He can't hold up his entire team with that, and this map is looking perhaps even more comfortable for W. than the previous map did.
I'd also say, I mean, a very quick last round. World record on the map currently 57.488 by EPOS. Nobody else below 0.5 on the record on the online leaderboard. And that previous round, finishing times of 57.7 for a couple of players near the top means it was quick, because they were not far in front of everyone else either.
Indeed. Right, this is a 1-2-3 right now for the team in red, for W.
They're kind of smurfing it. They're kind of looking incredibly good in these
4v4s. 4 even. It's
Yep. Surely they can't get a second 4v4 ace in 2 matches.
Not. Neil is doing all he can to deny it.
Oh, I don't know if he's got this.
I don't think it's going to be
he's
enough.
Got Bozbez close. I don't think it's going to be enough either way. But we come up to the finish line. Neil is on the inside. It's an ace. It's an ace.
It's an ace. 3,000
in the 4v4. Yeah, just to add insult to injury, exactly. By the 3,000th of a second, Neil is denied the breakup of the ace. Massive round, 3-0. W dot are jumping out to a massive early lead in this 4v4, and I think are starting to maybe feel inevitable right now. They need to get to 6 rounds. Remember, that is the magic number for them. But even getting to 5, they're only 2 away, having won 3 on the bounce. Getting to 5 means they are guaranteed at least a tiebreaker in this match.
Yeah, 1 player out for each team there. Neil and Stuff's crashing. This leaves Epos and Coco at the front. And this round looking a lot better for 4W, you'd have to say, occupying some of the top spots. All my key binds have been completely thrown off. Who was that going absolutely flying? That was Paco. Oh dear.
And that does mean that Boz overtaking Maui is a big deal, because this is very helpful to their chances of winning the round, especially with Melio currently sitting in 5th place.
Team
W dot are looking great, and that's not ideal, as he will disappear from sight. Boz looking to hold off Maui. It's going to be close at the line. Boz does just manage to hold him off. 26,000 is the difference, but with a, what was that, 2, 4, 5, 7, I'm pretty confident that that is a draw. Yep, that's what I was going to say.
Is it? Definitely.
It is, yeah. No, it is a draw. It is a draw.
Yeah. Cool.
Because the team in blue wins the top 4, right, with a 1-3. And then if you think about 5 as another 1, then that was a 1-3 for W dot in the bottom 4, which means both teams won 1-2v2, which means it's a draw. Yep. It makes sense. It makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
I've learned the ways. Shout out to... yeah, I think it was Yek and a couple of other people in chat explaining that one, so we appreciate it. It's helped my brain deal with it. Now, I mean, the best possible thing has just been what W dot have been doing, and simply continually getting multiple players into the top 4, like 3+, including that one ace they have picked up. And they're kind of doing it again, and that does make the maths significantly easier, because the team with 3 players in the top 4 will win the round. They're sitting 1, 2, 3 at the moment. That will drop off a little bit. Copro fighting, trying to gain on Epos, but Stuffed is coming back. Not even a chance to really push for Epos, as Stuffed is looking to lock down that 3rd place. We are coming around the final couple of corners. Stuffed sends it, Copro sent it. Epos did not send it as hard, but being overtaken by 1 is fine. That will be a 4th round win for W dot. They stay on pace. They stay on track, still shutting their opponents out entirely here.
Right. 1 more round win for W dot. And it's to confirm that 4W, well, won't win this match the easy way. There's still technically the whole golden point shenanigans. But this is now really
they're 1 round
bad
away.
Situations.
They are 1 round away from guaranteed denying their opponent the golden point, right?
Yeah.
Or at least guaranteeing themselves the playoff, the tie at the end here. And so this makes that makes this a very important round, I guess, is what I'm saying. All of them have been so far, but this one in particular, all of a sudden the pressure has been poured on, and it is up to 4W to try and hold them off, and it's not looking great at the moment. Stuffed and Boz do lead the way, 1-2. Although it'll drop to 1-3, and there are 3 cars in blue jockeying for position right behind Boz. Boz has been a little bit slow around the last couple of corners in the last couple of rounds, has not pushed as hard as maybe some of the other players. Does he have it in the tank right now? Can he push? Can he get there? In front to GoPro, Boz launches right and manages to hold on to 2nd place. Now, Paco in 5th means that it really does depend on where the rest of that scoreboard ended up. It was a 6th for someone. I think that was a win for Red. It is a win for the Red team.
It is a win for Red.
Meaning that they're on 5. They've won 5 rounds, and look, again, it's probably over. They just need 1 more round win to lock up this entire match. But 4W, if they win 7 straight now, will send us to a tiebreak.
Yep.
That was a 57-5.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Absolutely stunning performance there from Stuffs there. A lot of NTs come out in chat. It's always nice to see the amount of respect these players have for each other. I don't think you get it in,
in BITM. Just a real cesspool of a tournament, all of those. Just a lot of toxicity,
clearly. I was gonna say just you know, sometimes in competitive gaming in general, not always.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But I always like the respect between these top level players. Even when losing, they'll congratulate her.
And this is close.
GoPro,
no,
it's not close. It is
it's not close anymore. Hang on, though. Hang on. EPOS finishes in 6th. I think EPOS finishing in 6th there does guarantee that that is going to be a win for the team in red. And with that, a win on the match as well. There is still more rounds to be played. They will try and complete the 7-0 shutout. But with 4W coming in behind into this 4v4 with a round differential of -2, they needed to win by more than 2 to win overall, and they will no longer be able to do that. This is up to 7, and the best they can do is 7-6 if they win 7 rounds in a row.
Yep. So, is the place booked in the final for W dot hit? Why do they have such similar names? My God. I don't need an Oscars, you know, La La Land moment going on.
Yeah. There is also, hang on, just let's highlight the fact that this could well be one more ace to round things out, and I don't want to say that all of...
Maybe
well,
not.
never mind. What they tried.
Stuff goes flying there.
Stuff's really letting the side down here. Dropping behind Maui.
Actually, can he... No, he can't fight back, but it's going to be a 1-2-3. W dot wrapping it up in dominant fashion.
Whew. And news from the lower bracket as well. Shift have just lost to Evo Black, which does mean that 4wheels drop to that lower bracket. They will be up against Evo Black down there with the chance to still fight their way back to the grand final. Those two teams then fighting to see which one of them can take on W dot in the finals, who do book their spot. I've got a star wipe. You love to see it. Listen, it's just fun transitioning back to the same screen that you were on before.
Just keep that there. Just all the time.
W dot, it's just there. It's just available, just in case I ever need it. W dot, it's a strong performance. I mean, I'd be scared for either team coming through to face them in that upper bracket final. Now, looking back at this entire bracket so far, I mean, W dot did beat Shift. 4wheels did beat Evo Black 6-1 in the upper bracket match that they played. So maybe favored coming back into this. Obviously, the map pool has changed, has shifted a little bit coming into this final week. There may be something in there that favors the Evo Black players, but we'll have to wait and see. I mean, 4wheels definitely looked a bit down and out against W dot in that final pair of maps.
Yeah. Yeah, by the time we got to the 4v4s, I think 4W, I mean, they're a very, very strong team. And
yeah, of course.
I think they definitely have a couple of, like, particularly strong players, but the sheer squad depth that, you know, W dot has is just stunning. There's no weak links there, and you see in the 16 rounds played on 4v4s, they only dropped 2 of them.
Yep.
Just absolute insanity.
Here's the thing, Padster, if you only have 4 wheels, it means that you've forgotten your steering wheel, and I think that's clearly what happened to 4wheels on those 4v4 maps. You gotta add the 5th wheel. It's gonna keep you out of the walls. W dot take full advantage. That was the steering wheel. It's over there. The final W is what they held on to, and they will manage to take that win. They head on to a grand finals. We'll be heading down to the lower bracket to cover 4wheels versus Evo Black. I think we're going to head to a quick break and come back after that. We'll head to a quick break. Hey, don't forget to follow the Twitch channel here as well, British Irish Trackmania. We're currently trying to beat Nualaic. He's been boasting about the fact that he currently has more followers than BITM on Twitch. So make sure that you follow here as well. And we'll see you all after a quick break. Back with the lower bracket of EMC Season 6.
Yep. Great. See you in a bit.